Welcome back, and I'm going to share a little bit more about me so you can understand my experience and some of the journey that I've been on. So, as I was talking about in the last video, I was previously a lawyer and I qualified some years ago, and then I actually went on an internet marketing training weekend with Simon Coulson and the Internet Business School. And I realized that that was my vocation. I really wanted to learn about how to make money online and become an entrepreneur. And I just changed route and changed direction completely. And I have been involved in the online space and digital marketing and predominantly building community for businesses since that time. And it's been an epic journey and it's gone through all kinds of twists and turns, and it's been exciting and it's been, at times frustrating. And so I've gone through all the emotions over the years. So here's a little bit of, some of the things I've done. So I started off quite early on. I was really interested in the fact that you could build a relationship with clients and with businesses through membership sites. And I was really intrigued about them early on. And so I went on and researched and did some seminars and worked with some business owners who had membership sites, have my own membership site. And I wrote the book back in around, I think it was 2013, 2014, about how to make money from membership sites. So I did that quite early on, and my journey kind of expanded since then. And I really got really deep into understanding how you build community and how you do it from an online perspective and business relationships, because I think that's so important for us. And during this course, you're going to learn how to be an online coach, but you're going to have to build relationships, not only with your clients, but also with possible future clients and your network. So it's a really important part of business. So through this journey, I basically took loads of opportunities as they became presented to me. And early on, I had an opportunity to be a speaker. And the first time I spoke probably wasn't the best, the best example of a speaker, but it gave me that experience to go on and do it again. And I remember that I constantly asked for feedback, because feedback is what will improve you, and it will give you, sometimes you don't want to hear feedback because you don't want to know that you didn't do something great. Or I remember very early on I had feedback, and I think actually it was given me by Simon Coulson, and he said to me, don't be so self-depreciating about yourself. So I would make jokes, and that would be kind of the fact, that's kind of, I'm someone who makes a lot of jokes anyway, and that's kind of my personality, but I would make jokes about myself. So I would say things like, well, don't listen to me, or how would I know? And it was kind of like a self-preservation thing. But equally, if you are teaching people, and that's what you're going to be doing in this course, you're going to learn how to coach other people in your area of expertise. So you don't want to put anything in people's minds that's going to doubt you. And so early on, I was doing that. I was just putting myself down, and I didn't need to, because I knew my stuff. But sometimes it's really important that you hear that from other people, because otherwise you can not realize what you're doing yourself. So that was one of the early things I learned. I think, I'm not sure what year now, it seems quite a few years ago now, but maybe 2017, Facebook changed their mission statement, and they made it all about building community. And because I'd been so into community building and Facebook groups as a tool to build community and membership sites, I was one of the community leaders that was approached by Facebook to help them understand more about what it takes to build really good communities. And they put lots of money into developing their Facebook groups offering, and I helped them understand much more about what it is to build community. And I flew out to Dublin. They paid for me to go out to Dublin, and Sheryl Sandberg was at the event, And it was a really exciting time, actually, and being part of that big transition for Facebook. And there's a little picture in there that was actually at Facebook in London, another event that they put on for us as the community leaders. Very early on, I worked with 1 Year No Beer, a community, a global community who are, they were set up to help people get out of that cycle of drinking and just they really did it through building connections with each other and with other people who were in a similar space. So maybe people working in corporates, they wanted to bust out of that and build a community that would support people on these new journeys of, better health. And I worked very early on with them, with their community strategy, and they're going from strength to strength. So that was one of my early experiences around building community and helping and being a coach and a consultant. So it really stemmed from where my interests were. And I think when you are going through this course, you want to look at where your interests lie and what you really love doing. So I could talk about community forever because I really feel inspired by it. And I really want to read things about it and share that with others. And that's really, really important. So after that, I worked with some corporate businesses like Cantor TNS, ran some culture and community workshops. I ran workshops at ING. I flew out to Washington, D.C. And worked with Higher Logic. And I remember going out there and ending up, it was funny because I thought, I used to be a solicitor. And now I'm in the boardroom with a load of board members from Higher Logic. And they're asking me about community building in the UK. It was kind of surreal. So that's just some of the things I've done. I've worked for Dent Global, which is co-founded by an entrepreneur called Daniel Priestley, who is the author of Key Person of Influence and Entrepreneur Revolution, amongst other books. And I ran his Facebook community. And I have also coached hundreds of people online, both personal clients, and also I have done many of Simon Coulson's clients as a coach for the Internet Business School. So that being said, I have experienced lots of the things that you will go through if you are setting up your own online business. So I've gone through what it's like to have clients, to give them advice, to see them succeed, to understand what happens when problems come along. So I've really lived it. And I think that's really important to remember yourself when you are teaching or when you're coaching, because you need to just be ahead of where somebody else is. And if you've had experience, you can share that experience with others, and it's really valuable. And that's sometimes you think, what can people learn from me? But where you don't know something, you are looking for someone to teach you. And that's really what teaching and consulting is about. It's about helping people get to where you are and sharing it from your experience, what pathway you took. And that's why it's really important. And I was talking about this in the last module. It's really important that you really do something rather than just read or just theoretically learn about how to become an online coach. Like, get started. And I'm going to talk about all of the practicalities and things, but get your first client. Even if they don't pay you, it's great experience. So today, for example, is a really, really good example. I have a friend who she used to work in marketing, and she used to work in London. And she decided that she wanted to, she left London and set up a PR agency with her husband. And then she decided that that wasn't necessarily for her doing the PR. So she has branched out and she's gone into a completely different field. And she has taken a course run by, I think it's London Fashion. I think that's what it's called, or London Fashion College or something like that. You can see that I'm not in the fashion industry. But anyway, she's taken a course and she has to do the modules of the course. But at the same time, she is practicing with her friends. So today she came over, and her and another friend came over, and she did a colour psychology. I don't know what she's called it, like a colour. She basically takes you through a procedure, which is she gets you doing an online quiz, which understands your personality. And then she gets all these different fabrics and puts them against your skin and tells you what kind of colours suit your complexion and your personality and everything. So we went through this whole process today, and she did it as part of her assessment, but she's going on to charge people in the future. But now I will give her a review and a recommendation because she's worked with me and she's done it for free with me, but her clients will start to pay her. And that's a really excellent example, because she could have just attended the course and not done anything with it, but she hasn't. She's attended the course, and now she's setting up a website, and she's setting up all the pieces that need to be put together in order to turn it into a successful business. And you can see it kind of folding out by her taking step by step and doing what she needs to do to get her to her vision, which is to be a stylist. So there's a really practical, relevant and timely example for you of how you can really move the dial. So I don't want you to feel like things aren't achievable, because they are really achievable. And there's a classic example of where somebody has decided, okay, I'm going to go down this route, I'm going to get the training, and then I'm going to implement that training. And that will lead her to a business where she can make money on her terms, and she's got that flexibility. So it's totally possible to do. I can't believe that I would stand on stage. You can't see all the people in the room on that picture in front of you, but there was hundreds of people in that room that day. And to think that when I was a solicitor, I would just sit in a meeting and not really speak because I'd be too scared. But when I feel really passionate, I'm able to go and speak to people in a room and share what's important to me. And, I've written a book and traveled the world and done so many amazing things with so many amazing entrepreneurs and other business owners. So it's totally possible to do. I'm living proof of it. I would never think I could do online coaching, but I have done it, hundreds of times. So it's possible to do. It's great to have a flexible lifestyle. So for today, I'm creating this course, but this morning I spent it. In fact, they came around at 11 and they didn't go until 3:15. So I basically spent the whole day. But now, because I'm flexible with my schedule, I'm here and it's 10 to 6 and I'm recording this Loom video for you about the course. So, so I'm excited to get started. That's a little bit about me. And yes, let's get going. Let's go on to the outlines and objectives. So I'll see you in the next module.